Greetings! I'm Epictetus, and this is Epic Tech. And I've got a special treat for you today. That's right, it's a brand new mod that no one has ever seen before in the history of the... No, well, okay, a few people have seen it, but for the most part it has not been available to the general public. And I'm here with the author, Equinox.
Hello.
Hello. So you might recognize Equinox's name. He made my Space Engineer's suit a while ago, and then he made a Medieval Engineer's mod that's a statue of that Space Engineer's suit holding a sword, and I have it in my Let's Play. And you've done a few other things, and your name is actually in the credits of Medieval Engineers for putting in some of the code.
Yes, a few little things here and there.
I just found that out as we were waiting to to get everything working.
By waiting, he means I was fixing bugs.
Yeah, he was still fixing bugs, and I was watching the credits because why not? I didn't know what else to do. I'd already gone through all my key bindings and all the settings again. And then there was your name there, and I didn't expect to see it there. But it was pretty awesome. So
yep, the piece of code that I got into the credits for was one of the things that made this mod possible.
Right.
And also made the crossbows animations possible.
Yes, which I noticed, and I think I even commented on it when that version came out, that the crossbow animation looks really nice now. So, and I didn't even know that was you.
Surprises everywhere.
Yeah. But that's what allows these tracks to actually do their smooth bends and curves as opposed to having like 90-degree changes. And it's pretty awesome. This is really cool.
Yes, and the mod does have a straight track block, but for the most part, with the curvy sections, you have total freedom within some reasonable limits. Like you can't make a 90-degree corner in like 4 meters. That's not allowed.
Yeah, but it's a rail. If you did that, you would fly off. Actually, you wouldn't fly off. But in the real world, you would.
In this mod.
Yeah. You're kind of stuck to the track no matter what. Ish. I know that you can kind of pull it around and knock it.
Yeah.
And you said that you can lift it. Vertically. Yeah, so I might actually be working on how to do something like that in my world. So if you want to see this actually used, we're going to do a tutorial right now, but if you want to see it actually used in a real world, go check out my Let's Play. I'm going to be adding this and probably the Gears mod by Peaceman kind of at the same time, and I'm going to be working with them together. It should be fun. We'll find out. But as you can see, we've got a nice long ride ahead of us, and we're going to talk a little bit about what it takes to get going in this mod and that kind of thing, and then we'll try it when we get up to the top of the mountain.
All right. So there are so this mod actually comes in the form of about 7 different mods that you sort of stitch together into whatever gameplay style you want. There are these more futuristic tracks we're riding on right now, the steel rails. There's wooden rails. There's a variant that makes all the rail costs cheaper, so I recommend that one for single player worlds, but the more expensive one's great for multiplayer. Most of the components on this, there's nothing new really. There's only, metals, wood, and that's really all that you need to get started on the mod. You will require a few new tools to build it. There's a new pickaxe style tool that can be used to make the grade to fill in all the gravel and dig out hills. And then there's a new hammer that you have to use because unfortunately I could not find a way to use the vanilla hammer to build the bendy rail segments.
Well, it's doing something a little bit different too. I mean, it's not just, it's building up the rail, but it's also, it's complicated.
Actually, if you look, right now it's not a great time, but once we get around this hill, if you look to the left, you should be able to see the other station off in the distance.
Oh, okay. I will look for it.
It just passed very quickly, unfortunately, so you may not have seen it.
Oh, did I miss it? Wow, okay.
Yep.
Well,
we're in a tunnel now.
Well,
it'd be very hard to see anything. Yes.
Yeah, with the brand new tunnel sounds, which are awesome.
Yep. Wonderful tunnel sounds.
Yep.
A few things I will mention right now, though, is there's a few known issues and stuff that people may be seen right now as they're looking at our shoulders.
Yeah.
The animations are a little funky. They're on my to-do list, but animations, if you don't know, are very time consuming. So I'm hoping to get this out before I spend the 20, 30 hours required to redo those.
Yeah. I would like you to not wait
Yeah.
on doing that because that might
Yes.
be a while. And you know what? It's kind of
It's
goofy,
usable,
but it's not
for sure.
bad at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
It's
actually
just got a
really
bad back.
impressed. Yeah, that's right. And a bad shoulder.
Right.
You know, it's
The
it's
other
good.
thing you mentioned earlier is that you can't get derailed right now. That is hopefully temporary. I do want to add derailment mechanics,
Nice.
but I would like them to be physics-based. And currently, I haven't figured out a decent way to do that. But don't go crazy with your tracks, because maybe in the future you will derail going down them. Like this one, you would definitely derail when going down if you didn't watch the brake.
I rode this going back down the other direction, and you can pick up some pretty good speed. I expect to see a lot of people making like roller coasters and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And actually, here's another place. Once we get through this tunnel, you can look off to the left, and you'll see the track, the
Your
bridges
left.
we crossed over on the way up.
Oh, okay. I was actually up to the
Yeah.
right. You can see the station we're heading to.
Oh, yep.
And down
There's
to the
station.
left. Yep. I saw it for a split second, the
Yep.
thing over there. Are you going to make this world available so people can just play
Yes,
with it?
I will probably link this world in the workshop item description.
Okay.
So people can ride up and down a couple times.
Just kind of see what it's like without having to go through all the
Yep.
work and making their own. And it's not, I don't want to make it sound like it's a ton of, work to make one of these rails. It's actually like very impressively easy.
Yes.
But there is some non-intuitive stuff at the beginning. So we're definitely
Yes.
going to spend some time talking about that.
I would say that something this size in creative probably only takes maybe 2 or 3 hours. Then by far the majority of that is the tunnels. Because you have to carve those out.
But if you were to stay, if you were just to wind up a mountain and not do any tunnels,
Right.
It really wouldn't be bad at all. Oh, we're both trying to stop it. Okay.
Yeah, we both tried to stop and stopped too early.
Yeah. By the way, I have a curiosity. Does it actually go faster if you have 2 people, or is it easier or anything like that?
It won't go faster, but it will accelerate quicker.
Oh, nice. Okay. And by the way, if you didn't know, you can hit the T button and it's called auto walk. And it just like, I'm not pressing anything right now. I'm just walking around. That's part of Medieval Engineers to begin with. You can use that on the track. So while you're going, just hit T and you can go get dinner while you're riding along your rail. Let's make ourselves our own little bit of rail. What's it take?
Yep.
Let me get my interface back.
Probably the easiest way to get started is just to use the straight rail segments. Okay. They're a good way to get a handle on how big they are, what they look like.
And I should point out that there is a research, and it's under economic engineering?
Civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
Yes, there are actually 5 different researches. There's tools.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, actually.
Railroaders tools, basic railroading, steel railroading, basic bogies, and the railroader's handcart. And just like anything else, you just kind of walk through that. And I'm probably going to walk through that in my Let's Play. But here, we're just going to take a look at what it takes to lay down rail in creative mode, where you already have that stuff. So we want to start with a straight rail segment. And I'm going to go ahead and just do the steel stuff.
Okay.
But you mentioned that there's also a wooden one, and the wooden one is obviously cheaper because it's wood, but it's also slower, right? Has more friction?
More friction, yes. They are not intrinsically slower.
Okay, the max speed is not slower,
Correct.
But like acceleration is slower and deceleration is faster. So I'm going to lay down one of these straight rails just like that, right?
Yep.
And then
you need the curvy section of rail.
That's
so the
right.
rail planner to build the curved sections of rails.
Okay, so this is the curvy section. It's just called the rail planner, and you walk up, and it looks like a rope when it's in your hand. But
the thinking behind that is you're not actually so much laying, you're not pulling a 10-meter section of rail out of your backpack and putting it down.
Yeah, you're planning it.
I'm going to put rails here, and you're planning it out with a rope, and then you come back and install.
So I just click on this blue line right here, and I start walking backward until it turns blue.
Yep.
If the section is too small, it'll be red. But if I come out here, it's blue. And if I go too far like this, it'll turn red. And if I try to place it, it'll actually say it's too curvy. So I'm going to go ahead and stay on this road here. Now if I come back out this far, whoops, I clicked further away. So that was fine. But let's set up another one. So that's too short. And if I come way out here, it says it's too long. And so I'm going to come in a little closer, and I can set more. So it's really pretty quick. Now keep in mind that if you're not in creative, what this will actually lay down looks more like, well, an unfinished rail. It just kind of like stacks of parts and stuff, right?
Yes.
But
it looks just like the vanilla unfinished blocks, basically a stick framework.
Yeah. Okay. And then you'll need to use the railroader sledgehammer to actually complete that. So you can actually, this right here, if I right click on this, you can see it kind of deconstructing here.
Yep.
And
it's actually deconstructing from this end over here, yeah.
Ah, okay. So this is what you'll see it looking like. This is kind of, you're planning it out, and then as you build it up, and I love that you put in all these levels of building.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
And there's actually this stage, the second to last stage, where
this one?
The rails are all crooked. And that's because if you look very closely, on the next stage, they actually have stake or tie or
because that last
it down.
Those little details. Yeah, I see it now.
Yep.
But they don't have. We're both doing this. There you go. But they don't have. So you've laid out your rail, but you haven't staked it down, and then this last one is staking it down.
Yep. That was one of the pieces of feedback I got earlier on, where it used to be that the stakes or the spikes were the only difference between the fully complete stage and the almost complete stage. And so it was too hard to see.
I'm noticing that it turns from blue to red, and then I take a step forward again, and I click, and oh no, this time it works. So the blue and red is a general guideline, but it's not 100% perfect.
Yeah, the blue and the red tells you basically if it's buildable to where your feet are, while when you actually try to place it, it tries to place the endpoint where you click.
And I can middle click, and it'll actually tell me what's good and what's not. So you can see that, and actually even before you said it, even if this would work here.
You can do it anywhere, and it'll tell you basically the length, the grade, and the curve of the section.
And here's an example of where we can use the grading tool. So let's grab that. Steel, creative, and broken steel. Okay.
So the creative one's only available in creative, but it basically is the steel grader, but it just clears the whole rail. It does a lot more work in one click.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use a regular one first. And so if I just click, it's going to actually kind of dig down, just like the shovel does.
Yep.
Except for it's intentionally making it so that it will fit the track.
Yep.
And if I try to continue and like make a hole here, it's not going to.
Yeah.
Yes. You can right click on it and it'll actually start building up.
Yep.
And this is where the creative one comes in really handy. I haven't tried the creative one yet, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that. Boom. And it just like fills the whole thing, doesn't use any dirt. Yep. That's great. So in creative mode, it's going to go pretty quick. So like this one's a little bit above the ground, isn't it? Yeah, it was. It was just a little bit above the ground. And this one's a little bit into the ground, so you can lower it a little bit. That's nice.
And of course, They don't actually, as long as the rails are above ground level, it'll work fine. So even if your ground's a little bumpy, it'll still work.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Through the desert, it actually looks really cool to have the sand the rails just peeking out of the sand.
Yeah, I liked that. When we were going through the desert, it's almost like the sand is blown up onto them a little bit.
Yeah.
So now you might think, like I did initially, that placing the handcart on the rail, you got to get it exactly just right, and then it will line up. No, you can just kind of get it nearby, and it'll just find its way. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
So there's two different kinds of handcarts.
Well, one kind of handcart.
Sorry. There's the handcart and there's the bogie. But there's two different kinds of carts, I guess.
Yes.
So that is a bogie. And the bogie is cool because you can build anything you want on it.
And actually, you can build anything you want on the handcart as well.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. The handcart's a little more expensive. And you can propel it yourself. And it'll look a little weird if you place a chair in the middle of it like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Don't do that.
I think what we need is to add a bed to this one.
Yeah.
Because then you have a mobile sleeping area. I can set that. That's my bed now, and I can spawn wherever it is. Also, you can pull these with ropes, and you can
also attach. Part of the attach whatever you want means that you can attach rope eye hooks to it.
Yes.
And connect multiple carts with ropes.
Which means that you can also use things like a rope drum to drag this from place to place very easily. And it will stay and not move all over the place like a cart without a rail.
One caveat I should mention about being able to build whatever you want on these is I suggest not putting catch blocks on them. The catch blocks works fine, but if I add a bunch of weights, the handcart cannot cope because the carts only look at the mass of themselves and whatever's attached directly. So when you have something else attached to them, they don't work very well.
Okay, so you can put catch blocks on there, just don't put too much weight on the other end of the catch block because it's counted as a second grid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in fact, if I put a bunch of weights on it, you'll notice that it doesn't really cause any trouble, except making it harder to push.
Which makes sense.
And now,
and having a lot more momentum.
Put more weight onto the catch block, but it would still have the same thing, where it would sink down a little bit or flip. It's one of those things that, in the great derailing physics update, would hopefully be fixed.
You know what we need to do before the sun goes down?
Ride back down?
Yep. Whoops.
Actually, do you want to ride down on chairs on just a cart?
Oh, like actually on a bogie?
Yes.
I think we should definitely do that.
Let's see if we can get over this. No, we're not going to get over this hill.
I don't know. I think we are. I think we're good.
Oh, yeah. I think we're good. So the handcarts do have a speed limit on how fast you can propel them, but going downhill, there's no such
speed
thing.
limit. Yeah,
yeah.
It's like cruise control in your car. It doesn't slow you down.
Yeah, practically, I doubt you're going to go over 100 meters a second, but 100 meters a second is very fast. So especially in a rickety medieval cart.
Yeah, with a couple of chairs nailed to it.
Don't let go.
Yeah, no, I am not going to hit the F key. I would fly off and die. And well, I wouldn't as creative mode, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Might leave some impact markers on the ground though.
Yeah, probably. So, anyway, I hope you guys are excited about this mod. You should find a link down in the description below, including a link to this world, or possibly there will be a link to this world in a link or in the Steam page, or both.
The link to the world will be in the mod description.
There you go. And so there will be a link to the mod in the description below. And if you enjoyed the episode, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure and say whatever you like to Equinox in the comments down there. And check out the mod. It's awesome. And it's fun. And go check out my Let's Play, where I'm going to be playing with this. I'm going to be having a lot of fun with this and doing some crazy things. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
And if you have any suggestions for it or bug reports, feel free to leave them on either the comments on this video for Epic, or preferably even in the comments on the Steam Workshop would be a much better place.
Yes. And come by the Discord server where both Equinox and I hang out. You'll find a link to that down in the comment or in the description as well. And I'll see you next time on Epic Tech. Yeah, I did put a bed at the end in the station here, and I have a feeling.
You break that? No, it's still there.
Yeah, no, I put a new one in
shortly.
Oh!
Oh my word! Oh. I think I'm still in the chair.
You are still in the chair with a bunch of weights on your head.
Oh my word!
It destroyed half the building. Holy cow! It's like an explosion.